What's going on, guys? My name is Eldeniro and welcome to episode 108, I think, of my FIFA 15 career mode with Manchester United. We're starting this episode off with an incredibly important game against Olympiacos. Now, this is a game that we absolutely have to win, as you see by this league, or rather the group table. Now, we don't have to win technically, but if we want to keep it in our hands to make it to the next round, we have to win this game. We're hoping that Lyon will do a job on Schalke elsewhere, and we could get through with a draw, or even just a defeat. I think actually that would be possible, but you know, you can't depend on other teams to beat other teams. Like, that's not how it works. So pretty much what we need right here is to beat Olympiacos, and then we're guaranteed a place in the knockout stages of the Champions League, which is in fact the last 16 of the group. Olympiacos started off the game incredibly strongly though, after just 2 minutes with the ball coming into Mitroglou, who sees his shot go just wide. But the fact that he got into that position was you know, it was kind of enough to worry me a little bit. But they came forward 20 minutes later with the ball being played into the box once more, and this time it was played into Mitroglou once more. His shot saved by the goalkeeper, and eventually we managed to regain possession. I changed my formation from this point. I can't remember specifically what I changed it to, but I definitely made it more attacking, as evidenced by this Dybala chance in the 40th minute. Now, I have a question for you guys, and I know it's going to be really difficult to answer. It's not a straightforward one. Because we're about to, in the next episode, we're going to enter the year 2020, which is obviously 5.5 years into the future in terms of when you start a career mode. So I can't really ask you which players I should sign, because it's going to be a completely different career mode now. But if you guys have any idea of what kind of players I should be looking at, maybe, because obviously we're going to be missing Di Maria and Villalba for a huge portion of the second half of the season, almost all of it. In fact, I don't think they'll be back till February or March. But as you see in the 48th minute of this game, Hernandez does give us the lead at the second time of asking, thanks to a great cross in from Luke Shaw as well, by the way. I actually honestly did that accidentally, but it turned out to be an incredible cross, and Hernandez was there to put us 1-0 up, and it was kind of smooth sailing from here on out, because we were able to keep Olympiacos at bay, with Huppertz getting his shot off in the 64th minute and seeing it saved. Then from the throw-in, which resulted as a result of that save, we would have another chance. But yeah, no, just getting back to the players, I was thinking of having a look to try and sign a mega player. I want to get a couple players in on pre-contract agreements as well, like that Kister guy who plays in midfield for Bayern Munich, and Eden Hazard, who is obviously still at Chelsea, but I can get them both on a free for next season. The only thing is, I don't know how long I'm going to stay at Manchester United, because I would like to move to another club, and I don't know if it's going to be worth strengthening them for the future in that regard. So I'm not too sure what I'm going to do. If you guys want to actually advise me on that as well, that would be fantastic. But we end that game with a 1-0 victory over the Greek Giants, which is absolutely fantastic for us, because this is how the group table ended up. We weren't doing well in the group at all. We started off incredibly poorly, and after 4 games played, we didn't even have a single victory. But thanks to wins against Schalke and Olympiacos, eventually we do manage to finish second in the group, just 1 point behind league leaders Olympique Lyon, or the group leaders rather. So I'm interested to see who we'll get in the next round. Also, we got 10 million for advancing from the group stages of the Champions League, or even just for playing in them. So this is the kind of money that we're playing with now in January. Now, I like to keep the wage budget as big as possible so that I can make room for those pre-contract players if I do indeed go for them. But other than that, you know, we have potentially 28 million or so to play around with and see if we can get ourselves a really good player. I was thinking of maybe going for somebody like Gareth Bale, but I'm not sure if that's a good idea or not. It's just that I want to guarantee that we'll get far into the Champions League, and we haven't really impressed in that tournament so far, whereas the league, on the other hand, we're relatively comfortable. But we go into our next game in the league. This is against Fulham. Our defensive record is incredible. We haven't lost a single game overall as well on top of that, so I wasn't too worried about Fulham, although they are a surprisingly difficult team to play against at times. But we come up to the 39th minute of this game with the ball being played out to Cole. I forget his first name. He's a kind of a little pacey player, and he always pops up in a sort of a free roll position and attacking for Fulham, but he hasn't really done very well, and you'll see why in the second half of this game. But we come into stoppage time at the end of the first half with Wayne Rooney's shot going way over the bar, and that was no good. But that was the type of chances that we were reduced to because of the fact that Fulham were playing with such a defensive formation, obviously against the league leaders. But Huppertz does really well in the 45th minute. The ball comes to Wayne Rooney, who plays it into Chalobah, whose shot was very close from giving us the lead, or very close to giving us the lead rather, just before half time. But we come up to the 56th minute of the game with Tunnicliffe on the ball. He takes it round to the right hand side for Fulham, and the ball comes into Cole and he hits the post, which is unlucky, but he gets another chance from here and manages to put it wide, and he was taken off shortly after, which shouldn't really surprise anybody. But we come up to the hour mark of the game, and it was Ross McCormack on the right hand side this time for Fulham, as he attempted to get a cross in. He eventually did. It came to Trotta, and the defence there was so bad, splitting away to allow him to get his chance on goal. Then 4 minutes later we came forward with Andre Schürrle, obviously a former Chelsea player, so used to a kind of a rivalry against Fulham, but he gets into the box, does really well to create a chance. Unfortunately, the rebound didn't come to Dybala until this moment when he actually runs it out of play, which was so stupid by me. That game ended in a very disappointing 0-0 draw, a very dull game, but I think a lot of the players were just, or me myself even, was just burned out from playing the Olympiacos game, and it's good that we are in a position where we can manage to draw 0-0 with Fulham and have it not actually impact on our league standing at all whatsoever, because all the other teams are lagging behind. Chelsea have started off horribly, Leicester are playing incredibly bad, and other than that there was no other giant in English football. It was always me with Leicester against Chelsea, and now it's just Manchester United, which is really good for us. I think we got lucky there, but we offered Lingard another contract, as you saw, and now we go into the next game, which is going to be against Hull City, who've made their way back into the Premier League, having ventured out into no man's land for some time. But it's good for us because they don't have Tom Huddlestone anymore, because I made sure of that as soon as they went down. They do, however, have Gary Mackay-Steven, who was given to them from us when we were at Leicester for, I think it was like 2.1 million or something like that. But Hull City were on the attack within the 39th minute of this game, as the ball comes into Mackay-Steven, who played it into Yannick Sagbo, who was in an advanced position. Now he eventually lost possession, but this is an example of how quickly Hull can close down in midfield, as they regained it almost immediately with Quinn on the ball, chipping the ball into Rahman, who was in a very advanced position, and a fantastic save from David De Gea keeps the scores level before another fantastic save keeping the ball out from Gary Mackay-Steven. That was incredible goalkeeping from De Gea, and that's partly why we have such a good clean sheet record, along with the fact that we sold our other goalkeeper in order to fund the Varane deal, or at least included him as part of the Varane deal. So with that, you know, we have an incredible goalkeeper as our number one, and we have an incredible centre back as our best centre back. So I'm really happy with that business overall. But Hull City were getting a couple of corner kick chances in the 43rd minute, and they were just really kind of pressurising on the edge of the box. That's why I've left these types of clips in. Like they, the way they pass the ball with such speed around the box, like it's amazing how in this game, when players and teams go to a certain what would you call it, like they get relegated and then they come back and they're ultimately the exact same. Like you don't ever get to finance deals for players who get into relegated teams and then go down in value. Like it never really works out that way, and I want to know why, because I don't fully understand it. But we come up to the 45th minute with Nick Powell picking the ball up in a great position. He does well to get around one player and then sees his shot saved by the goalkeeper and eventually cleared away. But we came forward again from the resulting play as the ball gets put out for a corner kick for Manchester United, with I think Nick Powell himself actually stayed over there to take the, or sorry, it was Ander Herrera who came across the central midfielder. It comes in towards Johnny Evans, who goes very close to giving us the lead, and I've said it like a lot of times in many episodes that Johnny Evans is a massive threat from corner kicks. But in the 46th minute, the ball gets cleared away for a throw-in for Manchester United, which would be taken easily by Dybala. He throws it to Raphael, who has plenty of options around him, but he takes it round Yannick Sagbo before approaching goal and playing it to Ander Herrera, who has a look up and smashes it into the back of the net from distance with an absolutely incredible effort from the Spaniard. He just scored a really good goal in real life as well against, I think it was Yeovil in the FA Cup there last weekend, but this was an incredible goal too from distance, and I think the first goal that he's actually scored for us all season. He picked up a yellow card in the game as well, which some people say, like, yeah, it's a good example of how competitive he is that he picked up a yellow card. I just think it's poor discipline, and it was a bad tackle from me or whatever. But yeah, I don't know, the whole Hull City thing, they seem to be slightly less effective than they were before, and I think that's because I've taken Tom Huddlestone out of the team for them. But in the 55th minute, Signorini came forward as he takes on the entire Hull defence before Ronaldo chopping inside and seeing his shot saved. Unfortunately, nothing came of the rebound, which was kind of a shame because we did well to get into that position. Then 10 minutes later, we came forward again with Dybala on the ball as he plays it into Roberto Soldado, who takes it round Maguire quite well and playing it into Hernandez, and an absolute clusterfuck, a calamity ensues inside the box, and it gets cleared away, and we really should have doubled our lead from from that chance. It's so annoying when things like that go against us. But from a counter-attack within the final 10 minutes of the game, Schürrle, the second half substitute, he plays it into Dybala, who takes it round Erkin at left back for Hull City. Then he approaches goal. Well, no, he doesn't. He actually veers away from goal, plays it to Johnny Evans, who finds Roberto Soldado. He plays the ball into Andre Schürrle, who gets into a position, and I think there was actually a ricochet off one of the defenders before it did come to Schürrle, and he did really, really well to anticipate the movement of the ball there. And that's a thing that kind of comes with experience on career mode, I think. Like, you'd never score a goal like that in your first game, I don't think. Like, you have to kind of get used to the players that you're with, and that is why I got Schürrle. I thought that he would add that kind of extra dynamic to the team, and as you can see here, he's not too shy with taking on players and taking shots either. But that is how the game ended, a 2-0 victory for us against Hull City, who definitely didn't have the same fire in their belly as they usually did when we played them, and that was, in all honesty, the easiest victory that we've ever had over the Tigers, which is pretty good because they have just been such a thorn in my side for so long. But that is the end of this episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please do leave a like. That would be much appreciated. I've been El Dinero. Thanks for watching.